So today might be the first of a series that I might name Why Is It So Addictive? And today we'll be looking at social media, specifically TikTok. Why TikTok? Because in many ways, TikTok is the crystallization of the successful features of social media. TikTok has a huge following. It became the 7th most popular social network in the world, rivaling YouTube, Netflix, and Twitter only 3 years after its inception. So why is TikTok so addictive? So the reasons are operant conditioning, positive and negative reinforcement, and a super effective algorithm. What does all of that mean? Let's get right into it. Operant conditioning comes from the work of a behavioral psychologist named B.F. Skinner, and what he did was basically design a box to study reward and actions, basically. He gave us some founding principles of behavioral psychology. What he learned was that when there's a behavior or an action followed by a desirable outcome, also known as reinforcement, that behavior, the original behavior, is usually strengthened and repeated. So let's say each time you do well on your test, your dad takes you out to get ice cream. If you really like ice cream, chances are you're going to try to do your best on your exams, on your tests. If that behavior isn't reinforced, then it might die down, it might lessen, and even go extinct or not happen at all. So Skinner he designed a box to test these principles on mice. You can apply a lot of these results and concepts to humans as well. So essentially there was a box, and inside that box was a lever. So there was a lever that, if pushed, will release food pellets. There was a mouse inside of that box, and it accidentally brushed against that lever a few times, and it noticed the correlation. It noticed that pushing the lever dropped food, so it started to do it more and more. So the reinforcement led to the rat pushing the lever again. So what the heck does that have to do with TikTok? Well, in the case of TikTok, you see something that you like, and you keep scrolling because you know that there's a very good chance that you'll find something else that you like. But it goes way deeper than this. Now, think back to the Skinner box. Let's say the rat pushes the lever, and this time there are no food pellets. Eventually, the rat's going to stop trying. The lever is no longer dropping food. The rat is just going to give up. So that behavior went extinct. So now Skinner wanted to test the combinations and see what would produce the most presses on the lever and the slowest extinction rate, right? When would the rat continue to press the lever and not give up on that? So he found that something called variable ratio reinforcement did just that. It had the lowest extinction rate. So now what does that mean? A variable ratio schedule is when you get the reward, or you get the food pellets, for example, after a random number of lever presses. So you don't know how many it's going to be each time. So now the first time it might be just 3 lever pushes. The next time it might be less. It might be more. It might be 3. It might be 5. It might be 10. So now you might be thinking, how does that make any sense? Why would that lead to the slowest extinction rate? You never know when it's going to come. Why even bother? But the thing is, you know for a fact that it will come, and that anticipation is almost exciting. Believe it or not, a variable ratio schedule is actually used in slot machines. This is how people get addicted to gambling. Now, I'm not comparing TikTok to gambling, but it's nowhere near as dangerous as gambling, but it's using the same psychological concept, because you don't know when the reward will come. You know that it will come at some point, and it's that anticipation that really gets people. So now, in the case of TikTok, not every video on your For You page is going to be interesting or exciting, but you know that something will be. You're almost guaranteed something exciting if you continue to scroll. And when you see a video that you like, your brain releases dopamine, and that excites you. It makes you feel good, and then you associate that good feeling with TikTok, with that video. So now your body wants more of that. So you continue to scroll until you get that dopamine rush once again. So basically, TikTok takes advantage of the most effective type of operant conditioning. And that is most definitely not an accident. Positive reinforcement is basically when you get a desired outcome, when your behavior leads to a desired result or outcome. So now, for example, let's say you go to a pastry shop and you get a pastry. You really like it. So now you're more likely to go to that pastry shop again so you can get tasty pastries. This is known as the law of effect. A behavior is strengthened or weakened based on its consequences or its result. So now TikTok does a very good job of producing desirable outcomes in the form of its aesthetics, like the dances and the choreography. the music, the visuals, the colors, those things are all effective in grabbing our attention and making us feel good. TikTok managed to get popular songs on there without getting copyrighted. Like it literally accomplished the impossible. And the major advantage of that is now you have music, which is extremely, extremely powerful. It's no secret that music is powerful and desirable. Especially if catchy songs play, you're going to want to watch that video again or listen to something like it. You might tap on the information and find other videos that use the same remix or that same song. So these things make us feel good and we desire more of it. And TikTok will give us more of what we want. So now, negative reinforcement sounds like a bad thing. What it really means is that we're removing an undesirable outcome. Your action is removing something you don't want. So negative doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. So now, let's say you do well in school or you do well on a test, and then your parents tell you don't have to babysit someone or your younger sibling, or you don't have to do a certain chore. That's getting rid of an undesirable outcome or thing. So if we're in a bad mood, we might watch Netflix, we might watch something, we might eat ice cream to feel better about ourselves. Now, some people call this medicating. TikTok, like many forms, if not all forms of entertainment, allows us to escape our negative emotions into the app. But it's a little deeper than that, because if we don't like a video on the app, all we have to do is swipe up and we don't have to see that video again, because TikTok won't recommend the same video again. Any algorithm worth its salt won't recommend something you quickly swipe away from. So now that's a very easy way of removing an undesirable outcome, recommending more of what you like and less of what you dislike. It'll learn our likes, it'll learn our taste and work based on that. So it's going to maximize the positive feelings. It's actually genius. Speaking of the algorithm, TikTok has a very unique algorithm. TikTok has nearly perfected the art of learning about users with the least amount of user effort required. It does it in such a subtle way that as a user, you don't even realize that they're gathering information about your likes and your dislikes. For example, TikTok relies on the amount of time we spend watching particular videos to recommend more of that kind of video. Now, if you've ever noticed that when you scroll up, if you keep scrolling really fast, eventually it pauses and it loads and it tries to analyze what you don't like before suggesting something new. TikTok analyzes how we interact with the video, how we interact with creators and music, what we share, what we don't, what we comment on. So all of these things provide TikTok information to recommend more of the same type of content. Maybe you've been binge watching cooking videos or anime montages, or you've been listening to the same track over and over again. TikTok will definitely notice. The algorithm will notice. When do you swipe? When do you watch and stay? What songs grab your attention? What hashtags? And what types of videos? TikTok is keeping track of all of that information. But you're not consciously putting in any effort. You're not filling out a survey and telling them what you like. They only ask you about your interests when you open the app for the first time, when you first make your account. So think about it this way. For the company, for the people that work for TikTok, this is the ideal balance. This is literally the ideal balance. They don't have to put in that much work to collect your information, to collect what you are interested in, and to recommend more of that, to keep you on the app. It's the ideal balance of low user effort and an abundance of information gathered. Another important feature of the algorithm is the fact that it updates content. So after each video, after every 15 seconds, after every 30 seconds, after every minute, it's figuring something out about you and it's learning something about you. And it's updating in real time what you've been watching, where you've been swiping, what you've been clicking on, what you've been commenting on, what categories of videos that you're interested in. So it's accurately tailoring the content towards your likes. It's accurately tailoring the content towards your interests. And it's learning about your interests as it goes along, and not just learning slowly, learning very quickly. TikTok might be the embodiment of this generation's short attention span. The information on TikTok is condensed into a neat 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or a minute. Through positive reinforcement, it gives us more of the videos that we like by learning about our interests. Right? So that way, we associate a good experience with being on the app. Visual and auditory cues, colors, and the music. Since the videos are so short, you're getting something new, something novel, something fresh, and that is exciting. The negative reinforcement comes when you can easily swipe away from something that you don't like, and TikTok won't show you that same video again. It might not even show you something similar to that video. It will learn very quickly what you don't like. And obviously, it's easier to sit through short videos than to sit through longer ones, 5, 10, 20, 30 minutes. You can easily waste 2 hours on TikTok. I know each time that I download the app, I spend an hour or two on it, and I realize how much time I've wasted, and I delete it. Because you keep telling yourself, it's just one more video. It's just 15 seconds. It's only 30 seconds. It's not going to change my life. Well, then an hour goes by, 2 hours go by. You spent all night on TikTok. It allows you to keep going like that. The stimulation, the auditory and visual stimulation keeps you going. There are other social theories that explain why social media in general is popular. There are some that might be able to explain why TikTok is popular, but today we'll be focusing on just the ones described. I hope that was insightful, and if it was, then please show your support and share with your friends. I post weekly videos each Tuesday at 11 a.m. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.